A veteran who was exposed to high levels of radiation following British nuclear tests off WA in the 1950s is still fighting for government support. Last week, the British government announced a medal program for participants after years of campaigning. Similar recognition in Australia has not been forthcoming.
Smoke rose higher and higher, the strong wind twisting and sprawling it until it was a mile wide at its centre and about 2.5 miles high.
70 years ago, Britain tested an atomic bomb off Western Australia. Between 1952 and 1967, British Command ran a number of tests to highlight their position as a nuclear-armed nation.
On board were men of the Royal Engineers and the Royal Marines. Upon them fell the task of handling the delicate equipment and preparing the islands for the dangerous test.
It's had a lifelong impact on people like Ray Whitby.
Now, I've had health problems now for 61 years. I have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars with cancers. The 6 of us that went onto the island with the scientists, 5 of them passed away in their early 30s and 40s. My wife had 5 miscarriages before my son was born.
Ray is convinced he and a group of sailors in the Royal Australian Navy had been treated like human guinea pigs. The then 18-year-old was asked to assist scientists in carrying equipment and doing minor tasks while they monitored radiation in the Montebellos. Wearing just shorts and sandals, Ray and his teammates had no idea the consequences of spending just 10 hours ashore. While many veterans won their battles to receive a gold card, which provides treatments for all medical conditions, a handful of men have been forgotten.
I was asking for a gold card, which everyone else had received, but the powers to be said, "We're sorry, your ship was 85 days too late in getting to the island."
Veterans Affairs Minister Matt Keogh says he's working with the DVA to determine whether the eligibility should be extended. Last week, the British government announced veterans who took part in the nuclear testing program would be eligible for a new medal after years of campaigning. But because Ray visited the islands just 85 days after the official cut-off period, he's not. The minister told Sky News he welcomes this announcement. He says we're waiting to see the specific criteria, but as the nuclear tests was led by the British, we think it's most appropriate that they are announcing this medal that will be available to Australian personnel involved as well. Rex Kay, who spent time at the site of an Air Force base during nuclear tests at Maralinga, says the effects of radiation are still prevalent.
And you don't go on the island and stay on the island. You keep away from it because it's still radiated, and I can tell you that well and truly.
Tourists who step foot near the Montebello Island bomb sites have been warned not to spend longer than an hour there, as the sites may still be radiated. Despite these warning signs, fishing charters, diving and surfing safaris have been operating near the islands since the 1990s.
And I just hope that in the future things can change. I can't do much more.
Veterans are hoping Aussies who join the armed forces are being looked after a lot better than they did. Crystal Wu, Sky News, Perth.